Have you ever seen people being able to use dance to release trauma from the third eye? Like stuff like slavery came up for me in my lineage, in my root. I want to do 3 experimental sessions in person. You bet you we're going to heal some deep stuff. The energy exchange for this is going to be $250. That's what Spirit wants to charge for this. It's not really me, because it's really Spirit and the universe that's working with you. It's not really me.
Oh boy, do I have a fascinating video for you today.
I started hearing voices in my head. Our bodies choose to miscarry.
Like, look at Hitler. Is he evil? Not really. I don't think so.
Etc, etc, etc.
I have been wanting to talk about this topic for the longest time. I just didn't really know how to go about it, but I finally gathered my thoughts. We are finally going to expose the wackiest CEO that your favorite influencer is probably being sponsored by. So back in the day when I had just started YouTube, like over 5 years ago, I used to do more beauty and fashion related stuff, and I would get sponsored occasionally by a brand called ScentBird. ScentBird is essentially a fragrance subscription service. I'm not sure if it's changed over the years, but from what I can remember is they would also branch out to do these eyeshadow palettes called the Deck of Scarlet. Does anyone remember those? Because I did many sponsorships with ScentBird using those Deck of Scarlet eyeshadow palettes. They would make me create these different looks, doing different videos and photos for them. I would also get sponsored to shout out their fragrance subscription service. ScentBird is a fragrance subscription service where you pay, I think, like $14 a month, and they send you a fragrance of your choice. And for the many completed sponsorships that I did not get paid for them, because after I would complete a sponsorship, they would completely ghost me for months and act like nothing ever happened. Then they would inbox me again with a whole new email and a whole new sponsorship offer. And let me just tell you, I took those offers time and time again. Yeah, I was very naive back then. So I always knew the brand in itself is problematic. It finally all makes sense because the CEO of ScentBird is absolutely unhinged. This is Maria Nurislamova. She was born in Russia, and apparently growing up she got made fun of a lot for being ethnically Tartar, which means like have darker complexion, darker eyes, darker hair. So she always felt like she didn't really fit in, but she always had this love for beauty and fragrance that really helped her express herself. And she knew that one day she would eventually open her own fragrance business. And then when she was 19 years old, she moved to the US. She went on to study mathematics, computer science, and marketing, which got her to attempt opening different businesses, but failed. Then later on started ScentBird, which we all know was apparently pretty successful. It's still making millions of dollars, and I feel like influencers contribute hugely to that. But then get this, in the spring of 2018, ScentBird got major funding. They had received around 18 million in funding, and according to Maria, a month or 2 after that she had a major awakening in the summer of 2018.
Nothing could have prepared me for my awakening.
She claims she was never really spiritual, she never really dabbled into any of that up until the moment she had a dream.
So my awakening actually happened unprompted when I was on vacation with my parents in Portugal, and it started via a dream. I started making these pink bubbles of energy between my hands, don't ask me why, and started throwing them at walls of the castle. And the moment that my pink bubble would collide with the wall of the castle would light up and like turn golden for a quick second. And I hear a voice, and the voice tells me, Maria, you don't have the magic of the pink ray yet. Try using the gold one. Like God spoke to me. Like when I made this like one large golden sphere and I blasted it out, and then the entire castle changed in my dream. It was so beautiful.
But then she says she started hearing voices.
And then I wake up in the morning, but the voice is still there. I knew that that voice was not me. It sounded male. The voice promised me that I was going to be given the keys to a lot of knowledge and all of that fun stuff. And then there was also some tuning up that started happening, like the voices. First it was one voice, and then it turned into voices, and I was able to receive multiple frequencies that were coming through.
And I'm not gonna lie, when she says that, to me, Well, when she explains her whole awakening, to me personally, it seems more of a psychotic break, but I'm not trying to diagnose nobody. It's just an opinion, allegedly. But I think her parents' reaction kind of confirmed my opinion.
I'm really, really grateful that they didn't disown me. Like, you have your normal kid one day, and then she sees a dream, and then she wakes up in the morning like spewing freaking stuff from God, or so she says.
Surprisingly, when she told her husband, he was pretty receptive to it because he too was apparently going through his own personal awakening during that time. She calls her husband, sorry, it's just too funny.
I later found out that the voice that I heard in my dream was the voice of my twin flame. So he was the one to help me through that awakening. My husband,
I also wanted Sergey to join us today because there are a lot of questions.
Was going through his own awakening, actually almost on the same timeline. And he at the time got curious about hypnosis. So he took a course. Yeah, like it's a very simple technique to get somebody into a hypnosis state. And I took the class as well with him. And we practiced on each other. He was getting me under hypnosis. I was getting him under hypnosis.
Apparently that's why she closes her eyes a lot, because she gets in touch with her inner self when she's closing her eyes. So you're going to be seeing a lot of this cringe eye closing going on throughout all of her videos.
So I generally channel my podcast with my eyes fully closed. I talk to spirit. I look strange as I am recording videos as I talk to spirit, and sometimes I have to wear glasses because I frankly don't even know what I look like when my eyes are twitching. My eyes are probably twitching when I'm channeling, like who knows. When I channel with my eyes open, I can do it, but my connection is not as strong. And also, the reason I don't always do that is because the information sometimes comes through visually. And now my third eye is always open, but when my eyes are closed, depth of the image that comes through is actually a lot better. And so I see the intricacies of how energy moves a lot better when my eyes are closed. So in other words, if I try to channel with my eyes open, I'd maybe get 60% of the connection that I would with my eyes closed. Did you totally see the spirit right now? It was just like a white spirit that just went over.
My connection with my higher self is really, really grown. At one point, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to channel without the eyes closed. Over time, if you do a lot of channeling with your eyes open, but your third eye is really, really activated, your normal eyesight can worsen.
It's really bizarre. She finally came out of the spiritual closet on Instagram.
I was, up until today in the spiritual closet. And so I'm like, well, the world is going to miss out on the fun of this journey. And so, enough's enough. By now I have a lot of the clairs open. So I'm clairvoyant, cognizant, clairsentient, all of the clairs. It's been a crazy ride. I went from normal to completely not normal in the span of 3 years. I get so many insights, you guys. My head is about to explode.
Then she claims she's ayahuasca.
So on Earth, I've chosen to be a plant that needs to be turned into a drink. It's not the individual that chooses to take ayahuasca. Before somebody takes ayahuasca, I start calling on to them about 2 years before they actually end up drinking that cup, like from that cup. My energy is very precious in the universe. Because I'm working with so many different planets, I'm very selective with who I work with and who I share my energy with. I could have chosen to make the ayahuasca experience the most orgasmic thing ever, but I chose for it to come through pain, physical suffering, and sacrifice.
But then, surprise, surprise, she starts monetizing her spirituality. So she starts this thing called the healing circle.
I am starting what I am referring to as the healing circles.
Have you ever seen people being able to use dance to release trauma from the third eye? Like stuff like slavery came up for me in my lineage, in my root, and it was just all through the movement. I want to do 3 experimental sessions in person to test out and to play with this new modality that I've just downloaded. You bet you we're going to heal some deep stuff. The energy exchange for this is going to be $250. That's what Spirit wants to charge for this. It's not really me.
because it's really spirit and the universe that's working with you. It's not really me.
Boom, there you have it. Of course, spirit charges. Then she goes on to write a book.
My audiobook is out. It's called 72 Keys to Manifestation, or An Ancient Path of a Modern Day Alchemist. I wholeheartedly invite you to download it, read it if you haven't already.
But here's the kicker. She also does a one-on-one retreat called The Hero's Journey. And guess how much she charges? $125,000. Apparently this retreat is at her house. You eat only vegan food. She also offers like ayahuasca. But I mean, I don't really know who's paying $125,000. Everyone assumes that because she's charging so much, she's a part of a cult, which I tried to dig to find out like which cult she's a part of, but I just can't really tell.
I am good friends with the architect of the Matrix. Sounds really funny, I know, but it's true. He's one of my spirit guides is what I'm saying. When things are random, they're not just random, they are randomized by the architect. So everything here is intentional. It is a very well architected game. Essentially, this matrix is like a set of cubes that are located right next to each other, kind of on top and to the sides, right? And again, obviously the matrix structure, if you guys have studied math, it's like rows and columns is really what the matrix is all about, which is kind of like duh.
Is this matrix evil? Is it good? The number one principle within the matrix is the principle of resonance. What do I mean by that? You can only attract what you're a vibrational match to. But the thing is, how did you become a vibrational match to tyranny? How did you become a vibrational match to hate? And the only way that you would be able to do that is because a part of you inside is that. There's no escaping from the matrix.
She literally thinks we are in a matrix. Here are some of her cringiest and most offensive takes.
There is a reason why abuse may have happened in your life, and that is probably a reflection of a part of your soul. Oh, I'm gonna get so many rotten tomatoes for this. It's like, how dare you blame the victim, Maria? I'll tell you this. All I'm here to do is shine the light. If that doesn't work for you, that doesn't work for you. That is a choice. The only way you align with an abuser is because your higher self has that inside of them to even align you with.
Yep, it's your fault. You aligned with an abuser.
One of the reasons why you may be having a miscarriage is the fact that
This one kind of hit close to home. I miscarried multiple times in the process of trying to conceive.
whoever is your current partner in the moment, right? Like whoever is the father, essentially, of this baby, is not a good match for you. If you have deep concerns around motherhood or the kind of mother that you are, it may cause your body to miscarry. That deep-set worry that the baby is going to take something away from you, whether that is your beauty, whether that is your, I don't know, life, so to say, right? Like your free time or whatever, like that worry that having a baby is inconvenient actually may cause you to miscarry.
What?
What does it feel like to kill 30 people? What does it feel like to kill 100,000? You know what I mean? And is it evil? Not if your intention is to understand murder. Because by the virtue of you understanding murder, you are sharing that learning and you're uploading it up to the Akashic records where everybody else can learn from it. And by the way, like look at Hitler. He's one of the poster children for like being an evil person. Do you know how many millions of souls benefited from learning from the experience that he has created? So here you may put, you know, like look at a character like him and be like, oh, he's completely evil. And upstairs, his experience was the greatest, one of the greater sources of knowledge of 3D planet Earth warfare. And that is benefiting so many different souls on their evolutionary path. So is he evil? Not really. I don't think so.
Not Hitler. But you know what, guys? Cut her some slack. She's different. She's not like us.
So essentially I was talking to dryads. So dryads are essentially spirits of the trees. I see them as women. Well, although they're kind of like, have green skin and like green hair, and they're kind of cool. When I say I see them, I don't see them with my physical eyes. Just wanted to make that disclaimer. I see them with my third eye right here in my head. And thank God, because if I saw them with my actual eyes, I think I would freak out and I would take myself to a psychiatric facility, I think. Yeah, because once in the early days when my clairaudience started awakening, I started hearing voices, like with my actual physical ears. I freaked out. I slept with my lights on for 3 days. And so my guides never talked to me with their physical voices after that. I bowed to the tree, and then I bowed again because I was like, oh, this tree is just awesome. And apparently that is what prompted them to talk to me. They're like, oh, she's not stuck up. We can talk to her. What came through to me in the meditation were the undines. The undines are actually spirits of the water, and I live right by the river, and so they live here on the property as well. And I met with 3, and they're not mermaids because and the difference between mermaids and undines, essentially, they kind of look the same, only the undines can grow the mermaid tail or grow the 2 feet, however they see fit.
I can't help but laugh.
But subconsciously, when you're reaching out for that piece of baguette, you are craving the nurturing of your father or his energies in your life. Even when you're watching Harry Potter, do set protections on yourself. You're going to thank me later.
Sometimes you guys think that you just your teeth are randomly crooked, but they're not randomly crooked. Every little aspect of the tooth is a map.
But at the same time, I am quite concerned, especially the scam part of it.
That's what Spirit wants to charge for this.
And look, you can do whatever you want, believe in whatever you want, but the moment you use that to target vulnerable people and monetize off of it, that's when all of the red flags are going up. So every time you see your favorite influencer,
ScentBird,
being sponsored by ScentBird, you should send them this video. Let them know who they're really supporting when they're constantly shoving that brand down your throat. But anyways, that's my coverage of the wackiest CEO on the internet. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to do all the funsies. Comment, like, subscribe, you know the drill. I can't wait to see you in my next one. Bye!